Hello there, and as you can see today we are reviewing Woo's Battle Dragon from the new Ninjago Season 13 wave. So there you can see the front of the box, which is pretty cool. Minifigures, we get Hero Woo and Gleck. Then on the back of the box we can see everything we get in the set. So without further ado, let's start by taking a look at the minifigures. So the first minifigure here we have is Hero Woo. Of course this is a brand new Woo figure. You can see, I'm pretty sure the legs are the same as his Season 11 legs there, so nothing new. But the torso is brand new, of course. And he does get this pretty cool staff weapon there. And you can see all of his back detailing there, which looks pretty cool with that new armor. And he has got the same face as from Series 11. And if we take all this off, you can see the face is exactly the same as last year. And then there you can see his brand new torso detailing, which looks pretty cool. So yeah, that is Hero Woo. And the next minifigure here is Gleck, and this is a pretty cool goblin guy. I'm not sure if he comes in any other sets, but he is in this one. It's a nice cheap way to get him. He does come with this crossbow, which is the stud shooter version, so you can just fire that off like so and lose the studs. And he does have the little quiver on the back for some arrows there. And you can see his torso and face detailing, and he's got that pretty cool goblin elf headpiece. And taking that all off, we can see he does have a second face and some back detailing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that is it for the minifigures of Woo's Battle Dragon. Of course, starting with the small build of the set here, this is what we get. It's a little kind of outpost for the goblin. And as you can see, he's got two of the brand new green flames in there, which look very nice. It is on a little orange plate to simulate lava. And it does have this sword in it, which is one of the two collectible swords for this wave. Which that does have a very nice skull design on the end there. Looks really cool, and it's got detailing all the way around it. So yeah, and the sword is nice and feels kind of made out of rubber, a combination of rubber and plastic, which is very nice. And of course it just has this stand here, which you just slot it in. It doesn't clip onto anything, but it does stay in there pretty nicely. And there isn't much on the back there, so of course you can give the sword to anyone you wish, and it is of course a nice cheap way to get it. So yeah, that's it for the mini build. And then of course we've got the main attraction of the set. This is Woo's Dragon itself. It's actually a lot smaller than I was expecting. The body there, you can see it's actually quite small there, and you can kind of see it is pretty thin as well. You can see where the leg is attached there. So across the top there is a lot of detailing there with all these cheese slopes and the gold, which it does look very nice. As you can see, lots of articulation in the tail because they do use the mixel joints, and then it just pivots up and down at this joint here where it attaches to the body. There's that place to sit Woo on the top there, and that also has two clips where you can attach his weapon. And then you can attach Woo here in the little seat without breaking his hat off. And then even better is on the neck, you can see we've got these little handles here which you can give to Woo, so he can actually hold on to the dragon like so. So yeah, that is a pretty cool little feature there. So of course he can sit on there sturdy, and just like with the tail, the head does move up and down on that little bit there, and it is also on the little mixel joints as well for the rest of the neck, so that can get a lot of articulation there. You can see, you can almost look all the way to the back, which is very, very nice indeed. And the head is a pretty small head, but it does look very nice. You can't open the mouth, but they have used the little rollerblade piece to kind of simulate a mouth, which I think looks very nice. And it has got the blue bit there for eyes. And yeah, overall it's a pretty small head, kind of reminds me of like a beefed up version of Cole's dragon, which is very nice. And yeah, something I wish they would do more often is these smaller dragon types. And as we can see with the legs down here, they are very small. There is kind of limited articulation, but they do look pretty nice. You can see there's that clip in the middle there, but it is also attached together with the battle droid limb, so you can't actually move that. The only articulation you get is in the foot here. That is for the front legs. Here you've got the foot there, and then this bit that's on a ball joint, but you can't really tell because you can only actually move it forwards and backwards like so. You can't really move the shoulder much. And then the back legs, there is a lot more articulation there, but still they can only go forward and backwards. They aren't even on a ball joint in the back there, they are just kind of clipped in with Technic pins. But you do get more articulation in the knees and the ankles there. so you can really kick back and make it look like it is flying, which I think is very nice. So yeah, limited articulation, but it's not too big of a deal because overall the dragon is pretty nice, and of course you can get it in some nice poses, so you can probably get it to sit down kind of very much like a dog there, which does look pretty cute when you do that. And then the biggest part of this is of course the wings. Without the wings it's actually very small. I'll just take them off here actually just to show you. You can see it's actually a very, very small dragon when you take the wings off. They do add a lot of size to it, and yeah, you can kind of see now what I was talking about with just how small this is. And then the wings, these bits are plastic and they are attached in like so. Both sides are the same but kind of mirrored, and they attach in of course, and you can kind of see, and they just kind of attach in of course, and you can kind of see that of course the only articulation you do get is just to flap them up and down like so. And there's no claws on here to kind of represent hands. I'll just take Woo off the start for now, and put the other wing back on. So of course you can just flap them up and down to simulate flying, but I would have preferred it if they were on a ball joint, much like the skeleton dragon that I will be reviewing later. That has a much better wing system. But these are still pretty cool, and for a small dragon it is very nice. And of course you can see they do make up the bulk of the dragon. And it would have also been nice if they could fold in like Firstborn or the Lloyd dragon, but it is what it is, and overall it's a very nice dragon and a very nice display piece nonetheless. Obviously, like I mentioned, there is a lack of articulation in the legs and the wings, but it still looks very nice, and I think that definitely makes up for it in the long run. So yeah, overall that is all I have to say about this set. So before we get onto the ratings, taking a quick look at the instructions, you can see the front is the front of the box. We do get straight in with the build. It's actually quite a long build considering how small it is, but I do believe this set has about 321 pieces, so it's actually quite a lot for the price that it is and the size that you get. So obviously a lot of those pieces were small. And then the advertisement there is just to expand the game, which I think ironically this is the only set that has that advertised in the back, even though the other sets that are actually part of the game do not. But yeah, onto the ratings for this set. I would definitely recommend this set. This is definitely one of my favourite Ninjago dragons of all time. The small size of it has allowed them to do quite a lot of detail with all these small little pieces there, and I really do like it. Obviously, as I said, I kind of do wish the wings would fold in, or that there was a bit more articulation with them rather than just flapping up and down. And as I said, with the legs, there is a bit of a lack of articulation there. But overall, this definitely makes up for it with the articulation in the tail and the head. And as I said, you can really spin the head around, kind of look on the back of it, kind of like a bird. And yeah, overall I think the design makes up for the lack of articulation in some places, and of course the minifigure selection is great as well, with one exclusive minifigure and a nice cheap way to get another that I think is also in Zane's Minor Creature, but I could be wrong on that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this set up, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.